In this video, we'll explore a basic job submission process. We'll submit the jobs via the Portable Batch System, PBS, which is software commonly used to manage jobs on cluster computers. We'll submit 3 jobs to run in parallel across 2 nodes of a cluster. The jobs are in 3 directories. The first is a C program that uses MPI for parallelization. The second is a Fortran program that uses MPI. And the third is a coarray Fortran parallel program. Let's look at the C program first. It's hellompi.c. This is standard C. It starts up MPI by calling MPI init, then checks the number of MPI processes, and then checks the rank of the particular process that is executing this copy of the code, and then prints out a string that includes the number of processes and the rank of the process that's doing the printing. And then finally it shuts down MPI with MPI finalize. Let's compile the program. And we'll name the executable hello MPI. And we can ignore that warning. And let's create a script I'll call hw.sh. It's a shell script, hence the .sh extension. And this script will submit the job to the queue for us. The first line of the script indicates what shell we want to interpret the commands that we're typing in this script. And we're going to use the T shell. Next, we have several lines that contain instructions to PBS. The first one simply names the job. The next line indicates that we want to run on 2 nodes, and we're going to use 8 cores per node. The next line indicates the queue. On some systems, there are special queues set up for access to specific nodes on the system or for jobs of a various size or length. We're submitting here to a queue named default. And then we're going to instruct PBS to copy any environment variables that we've defined in the interactive shell from which we launch the job into the non-interactive shell in which the job is actually going to run. Now I'm going to specify that I want PBS to notify me at the end of the job, which is what the E indicates. And it's going to notify me by email. On some systems, I might need to specify a specific disk partition where I want the job to run. Check your system documentation to see if you need that. And now I'll tell PBS the email address at which I want to receive my notifications. Now we're done with PBS commands, and we're going to set the working directory of the non-interactive shell in which the job is running to a directory that PBS has created specifically for this job. Now we can run the job using MPI run. And we'll redirect the output to a file that I'll call hwout. Now let's run the script with the qsub command. And now I just heard the email come in notifying me that the job terminated. And we can see the files here that have been output. So there's hwout, which is where we redirected the output in the submission script. There's also 2 files with the job name hello world One is a .o followed by the job ID number, which is the standard output from the shell, not from the job. And the other is a .e file followed by the job ID number, which is the standard error output from the shell. We'll take a quick look at the output from the program itself, and it simply, as we expected, says hello world and gives each MPI ranks number and the total number of MPI processes. We can see that the standard error file is empty, so that means the job ran successfully. And if we look at the standard output file from the shell, it's simply telling us that we're not in an interactive shell. TTY stands for teletype, meaning we don't have any way to interact with this shell through a keyboard, essentially. So now let's look at submitting the equivalent Fortran job. I'll use Control-L to clear the screen. We'll move up into the Fortran MPI Hello World directory.